What is up, enthusiasts? It is Cedar Flags here, and welcome back to another one of my videos. Today is undoubtedly a very exciting day in the coaster industry, or at least tomorrow by the time I'm posting this, because we have just gotten word of what the replacement of Hersheypark's old wooden coaster Wildcat is going to be. And let's just say it's going to be absolutely massive. We all know it. It is Wildcats Revenge. Out with RMC Wildcat, and in with its brand new name, Wildcats Revenge. And let's just say I am just as excited as everyone else is for this ride. This ride looks absolutely incredible, and based off of renderings and fan-made POVs based off of those renderings, I want to tell you my personal thoughts on how this ride is going to be. And do I think it's going to be the best coaster in Pennsylvania? Well, this is Cedar Flags, and today I'm going to be talking about the new announcement regarding Wildcats Revenge. So, let's talk about the ride stats first. It is going to have a top height of 140 feet, have a max speed of over 65 miles an hour, and have 4 inversions, including the world's tallest of its genre. It's going to have a very interesting collection of elements. With 3,510 feet of length, this is going to be a very interesting coaster. I love the menacing Wildcat theme, and I love how it blends in with the area. This is going to be a very menacing coaster, especially because it is much taller than what the original Wildcat was. So, let's look at the layout. Let's see how good of an RMC this is going to be. We are basing these off of renderings and the fan-made POV used by Amusement Insider. This is a very good POV and is perfectly replicating what the renderings show. So, let's get into it. First, we could see the pre-lift. Now, the pre-lift really doesn't matter in a ride compared to other elements, but I think it's still important. We have some pretty cool hills, which I will guarantee will give a little bit of floater airtime. But this is where the ride gets exciting after the pre-lift. Now, I was not expecting this whatsoever, but Wildcats Revenge is going to have a truss lift. Now, I absolutely love these truss lifts. You can see these on rides in America like Goliath at Great America, and Iron Gwazi at Busch Gardens Tampa. This is a beautiful structure, and I think it's going to look menacing for people driving to Hersheypark. The ride goes from 0 to 140 feet in height, and let me just say the view of the hills would be absolutely incredible. But, not to be overdone, that drop looks absolutely insane. With a more than 80-degree descent angle, this is going to be a very crazy drop. Maybe one of the best drops in the park. Yes, we have Skyrush, Stormrunner, and Fahrenheit, but this could stand up compared to those three as well. Now, this first element is going to be a step-up underflip. This is a sort of inversion where it goes into a 0G roll, but then ends up in a turnaround helix. You can find some of these on Joker at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, and Valraven at Cedar Point. So, what is different about this one? This one is going to be the world's tallest of its kind. And I think that's a good marketing standpoint. I think out of all of the things in the promo, that's probably going to be one of the biggest eye catchers because the GP and enthusiasts alike absolutely love these record breakers, whether it be something obscure or something major. But the next moment, not to be outdone, looks to be one of the greatest airtime moments, period. I mean, looking at this in renderings, this Camelback airtime hill looks absolutely incredible. The way it would throw you out of your seat on this element, and any time of the day, this would be very forceful. I like how it has that happy medium of being a low to the ground speed bump and a high above the ground Camelback. It has the perfect amount of ejector airtime, and you are going to be out of your seat for at least a couple seconds. After that, you go into the twister part of the layout. You go into another banking airtime hill, and then go into what looks like to be a wave turn or a simple overbank turn. Either way, this is going to be a very exciting element. These elements back to back are going to be absolutely incredible. And if you have that banked airtime hill, that one Camelback, and a wave turn back to back, this is going to be a very exciting moment. And then a 0G stall. The second element of this ride looks absolutely insane as well. Now, if you know me, I am an absolutely huge fan of 0G stalls, and even though I think Intamin does it the best, I think RMC isn't that far behind. And this element looks very tall and filled with hang time. I think these first two inversions right off the bat provide a very diverse collection of inversions, and once again, I am so happy that this ride has that because, like I said in the original video, the video I came out with 2 days ago, Hershey hasn't came out with an inverting coaster since 2008. After this though, we have another turn, and then we make our way back. We go into a double down, which reminds me a lot of the element on Zadra that is near the end of the ride, but we'll get to that a little later. And then the ride ends off with an inversion, an overbank turn, another inversion, and a few airtime hills leading into the final breaks. Now, looking at this at first, I compared it best to the child of both Goliath at Great America and Iron Gwazi at Busch Gardens Tampa. But then I thought about it more, and you know what this ride reminds me of? A mini version of Zadra. You have all the low to the ground elements mixed with the incredible airtime moments, mixed with the very unique and unorthodox set of elements on the ride like the inversions. This is going to be a very unique, airtime filled, and fast paced ride. I think when this ride opens, people are going to very much compare this to Zadra. Maybe not as forceful because it is a lot shorter and slower, but still, this is going to be an incredible ride. And I truly think, personally, from what I enjoy in rides, this could be the best ride in Pennsylvania. I'm going to say it. I have so many RMCs in my top 20, and if I know that I have rides like Iron Gwazi and Storm Chaser and Twisted Timbers over a ride like Skyrush, which I do still very much love, I think this is going to be the king of Hersheypark. And I am so glad to say that Skyrush in this ride will be a very good top 2. They will complement each other so well. Now, another thing that I found very interesting about this ride is the fact that it uses a slightly different layout than what Wildcat used to have. Now, I remember back when RMC started up with their conversions, the products of the RMCs were very similar to the old footprints of the older rides. For example, Steel Vengeance follows Cedar Point's Mean Streaks plot, and same with a ride like Wicked Cyclone. And maybe some helices might have been taken out of these rides, but they generally follow the same layout. But Wildcat definitely is different. The lift hill and first drop are in a completely different spot, and where the first drop used to be is now the first inversion, and I think that that is something that RMC is going to strive to do. RMC has stuck with the footprint a lot, and I think they are going to venture off of that in the future. I really like this. I am so glad that they chose this instead of a curved drop. This is a very bold opinion, and I think that not many people will share this with me, but I truly think that this ride is going to be better than a ride like Iron Gwazi, and might honestly be on par, or maybe just a little below, what Air Force 1 is going to be. Air Force 1 definitely has a lot more airtime moments, which I strive for, as of Steel Vengeance being my favorite, and this ride definitely looks faster paced, but I still think that Air Force has a little bit of an advantage. So why do I think that this will be better than Gwazi? I feel like the abundance of airtime moments on this ride are going to make the ride much better, but I think they're going to be close in the end. Anyways, what do you think about Wildcats Revenge? Like I said, I think this is going to be one of the greatest coasters out there, and probably the best coaster in the state. This is Cedar Flags, and I'll see you all later.